Pick up a banana, any banana, from any shop on earth, and you are almost certainly holding a clone. Not a metaphor, an actual genetic copy. Nearly every banana sold for export on the planet is the same variety, called the Cavendish, and every single one of them is essentially identical, grown not from seeds, but from cuttings of the parent plant. One continuous living copy repeated billions of times. Look closely and you will notice the banana has no real seeds, just faint dark specks that never grow into anything. That is the first clue to a strange and slightly alarming story. Because a fruit with no seeds cannot breed the normal way, which means every banana you have ever eaten is a copy of a copy of a copy. And here's the part that should unsettle you. The banana your grandparents ate was a completely different banana, and it is essentially gone. Start with why the banana is seedless in the first place. Wild bananas are barely edible, short and stuffed with hard black seeds, more seed than fruit. Over thousands of years, people found and cultivated rare mutant plants that produced soft, sweet, seedless fruit, which was wonderful to eat but useless for reproduction. A seedless plant cannot make the next generation on its own, so to grow more, farmers simply take a shoot from an existing plant and replant it, again and again. Every banana grove is really one plant, copied. That works beautifully, right up until something comes along that can kill that one plant. Because if a disease can kill one of them, it can kill all of them, since they are genetically the same. For the first half of the 20th century, the banana that filled the world's fruit bowls was not the Cavendish at all. It was a variety called the Gros Michel, affectionately known as Big Mike. By most accounts, it was a better banana than what we eat today, thicker skinned so it shipped without bruising, and sweeter and more intensely flavored. Whole empires of trade were built on Big Mike. It was the banana of the early banana boom, stacked on ships and sold by the millions. And it was, of course, a clone. Every Gros Michel was a genetic twin of every other Gros Michel. Then came the thing that clones cannot survive. A soil fungus, spreading a plant sickness called Panama disease, appeared in the plantations. It attacked the banana plant from the roots, choking off its water until it wilted and died, and it moved through the identical plants like fire through dry grass. There was no genetic variation for some plants to resist it, because there was no genetic variation at all. Every Big Mike was equally defenseless. The fungus poisoned the very soil, lingering for years, so infected land simply could not grow bananas anymore. Plantation after plantation was abandoned. Slowly, through the 1950s and into the 1960s, the greatest banana in the world was wiped out as a commercial crop, defeated by a fungus and by its own sameness. The industry, facing ruin, went looking for a replacement and found one in a banana that had been considered inferior, the Cavendish. It was less flavorful and more delicate, but it had one priceless quality. It was resistant to the strain of Panama disease that had destroyed Big Mike. So the world quietly switched. The Cavendish took over the ships, the shops, and the fruit bowls. And within a generation, almost nobody remembered that the banana had ever been anything else. That switch is the reason the fruit in your hand tastes the way it does, and it left behind one delicious little piece of evidence that most people have tasted their whole lives without understanding. Think about artificial banana flavor, the taste of banana candy, banana syrup, banana medicine. Almost everyone notices it does not really taste like a banana. It tastes like a cartoon of a banana, sharper and more intense, oddly wrong. For years, people explained this with a neat story. That fake banana flavor was invented from the old Gros Michel, so it tastes like a banana that no longer exists. That story is not quite true, and the real version is more interesting. The candy flavor is a single, simple chemical called isoamyl acetate, which was never actually copied from any particular banana. But here is the twist. The Gros Michel happened to be naturally rich in that exact compound. So while the flavoring was not designed from Big Mike tasted more like the flavoring than our Cavendish does. When you taste that intense fake banana, you are getting a small, ghostly hint of the stronger, sweeter fruit the world lost. The candy did not change. The banana did. You would think we would have learned the lesson written into that whole story. We did not. Because the Cavendish, the banana that saved the industry, is a clone exactly like Big Mike was. Every Cavendish on Earth is a genetic copy of every other Cavendish, which means it carries the same fatal weakness. All it would take is one disease that can kill a Cavendish, and it could kill all of them. And that disease has arrived. A new strain of Panama disease called Tropical Race 4, or TR4, appeared in the second half of the 20th century and has been spreading ever since. The Cavendish, immune to the old strain that killed Big Mike, has no defense against this one. TR4 has marched out of Asia and into Australia, across into Africa, and it has now reached Latin America, the heartland of the world's banana exports. It behaves just like its ancestor did. It lives in the soil, invisible, for decades, and once it is in the ground, there is no cure and no way to clean it out. Farmers can only try to contain it, quarantining fields and scrubbing boots and tires while it creeps closer. The exact same trap that destroyed Gros Michel, a clone crop with no genetic variety facing a soil fungus it cannot resist, is closing again, this time around the banana in your kitchen. That is the real lesson hidden inside the world's most ordinary fruit. The banana is a monument to the danger of sameness. We took a plant, found the one version we liked best, and then made billions of perfect copies of it, trading away the messy genetic variety that lets a species defend itself. It made bananas cheap and reliable and identical, and it also made them fragile in a way most of our food is not. Scientists are racing to breed or engineer a banana that can resist TR4, or to find a new resistant variety to switch to, exactly as their predecessors did with the Cavendish. They may well succeed, and the banana you buy in 20 years may taste subtly different again, the next chapter in a fruit that keeps having to reinvent itself to survive. So the next time you peel a banana, remember what you are actually holding. Not just a snack, but a clone. A genetic copy on borrowed time. The successor to a greater banana that a fungus erased from the world, and quite possibly a variety living through the early chapters of its own slow disappearance. The humblest fruit in the bowl is running from the same enemy that beat the last one, and it is winning only for now. Every food has an origin story. This is Foodling.